party tonight. Alright! We're gonna have a TV party, alright! Tonight! We got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews. Everybody's gonna hang out here tonight! Alright! We'll pass out on the couch. Alright! Tonight! We got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews. Don't talk about anything else. We don't wanna know. We're dedicated to our favorite shows. That's incredible! History Blues! Dallas! Miami!
Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. Little bit of Black Flag there, a little Southern California band, TV party, pop quiz. What are the only two songs, pop quiz, what are the only two TV shows mentioned in that song that are still in the air? Okay, Saturday Night Live and Monday Night Football. Although purists would probably say Monday Night Football really was only Monday Night Football when it was on ABC. By the way, I think whoever were the commentators at any given time on Monday Night Football, that's a pretty good snapshot of how old you are. For me, it was Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, and probably Alex Karras. I know Dandy Don might have been in there a little bit, but that's my holy trinity. All right, let's get to, actually, before we get to the markets, this is coming up later tonight, maybe about an hour and a half after the daily update. So get ready. We got the super mega ultra double plus good AMA where I'm going to clear up a lot of loose strings in terms of the AMA world. So, all right, let's go back here. Get rid of Black Flag. And we're not going to look at the intraday action today because what's the point? Okay, so we're going to talk about Signal. And what is Signal? Signal is a shorthand that we use in the Lund Loop trading room to say this is something to pay attention to. The market is telling us something. Price action is telling us something. Usually it's in reaction to something. So let's say there's a horrible CPI number, right? Or let's say the Fed tomorrow drops some outlier bomb and the market initially sells off, but then it reverses and it recaptures the levels before the announcement. That's the market telling you something. That is signal. One of the most, I wouldn't say consistent, but I would say one of the most important signals is when the market does something you don't expect it to do, when it acts in a counterintuitive way. And this idea comes from the Sherlock Holmes story, The Adventures of Silver Blaze. And long story short is they're trying to figure out who came onto the mansion property and ended up killing the owner. And in trying to deduce it, Holmes, not Holmes. What's the other guy? Watson. Watson says, "Oh, wait a minute. The night that the murderer came on the grounds, the dogs didn't bark. The dogs, they would have for sure barked. Why didn't they bark? Something that you thought would happen for sure didn't happen. Well, they didn't bark because they knew the person, which means they were able to narrow down the list of suspects and say, this guy, Dr. Ingenue, I'm just make up a name, was the guy who killed the owner of the mansion. The point is, when you think something's going to happen and it doesn't, that's signal. Doesn't mean you necessarily act on it. You don't just blindly go, okay, I'm going to buy or sell, but you really have to tune in and pay attention and see if some setups form in the direction that you want them to and that you can take advantage of. So after that long preamble, what am I saying? I'm saying that this move right here is absolutely 100% picture perfect what we expected when I did the daily update on Friday. I said we're probably at a spot where we can get a counter trend rally. It can probably get up to the 8 and or this support resistance level. And God damn it, where did it go? Right to the 8 and right to this support resistance level. Now, what's the next step? The next step is we would expect it to fail and to go lower, like we've done this whole way as we've cascaded down, as we've seen the moving averages all curve downward, this yo-yoing lower. So the signal would be if we don't do that. The signal would be if after the data dump tomorrow morning, which I think it's the CPI, but it could be PPI, it's something like that, after the Fed statement, after the final Fed decision with Jerome Powell, if after that happens, we close the day higher here, that is signal. That's a change in what we've seen in this water falling down. This is a unexpected move, would be a close above here. So if we watch and we see that, that's going to key us into some things that we should be looking for long and for some setups that we should be looking for. So that's a big if, right? As it stands right now, there's no reason for me to think that we won't just reverse and come down here, but that's the risk on signal that I'm watching for. Okay,